Hello, everybody. Welcome, Jessica Klimach from Flex and Flow, joining us live from Berlin. I think.
Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sending you greetings from Berlin. So everyone who's watching the replay, welcome. Not seeing you now in person, but you see me in person. So yeah, so great to be with you. Yes.
Why don't we start with you introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do, where you are, your background.
Yes. So I'm Jessica. Yeah. And I developed a movement method, which is called Flex and Flow, and which I trademarked. And actually, I'm teaching this to public for a little more than 3 years. So in person, but also online programs and whatsoever. It took me a little bit more than 1.5 years to develop it. And my background is actually not being an athlete or sports professional or dancer. In fact, for many, many years, like about 20 years, I was a fashion stylist, advertising stylist. And I'm suffering from scoliosis my whole life. I have a shorter leg, although it's not that obvious, but it really causes imbalances in the body. So I was always dealing with this, and with my former work, it didn't get any better. Plus the stressful surroundings as well. And then I started with yoga like 16 years ago, and being on and off the mat, I felt okay. It feels better, but due to my condition, but also due what I over the years saw in movement modalities, I was hurting myself. I hit a plateau, but also had injuries. I overstretched my hamstrings, had a very bad shoulder injury. I injured my sartorius muscle, which is one of, so to say, not really hip flexor muscles, but it's connected to this. All of this while doing yoga. And then when I became an instructor or a yoga teacher, so I still did my 500-hour trainings, but still my teacher trainings were very focused on alignment and anatomy. And actually my 300 hours, I had the anatomy professor from the LA University who also worked for the NFL. So it was always driven like being very focused on anatomy. And becoming the yoga teacher, I was thinking, okay, I saw the gaps, what was happening in my body, because I'm still was dealing with my scoliosis, all the imbalances, the pain in my body. What can I do better? And why not thinking about how our anatomy is built, everything I knew about anatomy, everything I experienced myself, there must be something which will bring everything together, not just yoga, but also strength building, gym work, maybe Pilates, maybe bar, everything that's out there. And I also thought about like, when you're like me, I don't have the time to do all the things, but also I'm quite lazy when it comes to movement. So I'm not the person who going to the gym on the mat for 5-6 times a week, and we actually don't have to do it. But still, I was like, okay, we need strength, we need flexibility, we need mobility, but how can we address this in our body? Plus, nervous system is a big thing, and nervous system is actually brain, and we tend to separate all those things in movement modalities. So I went to work. So I was digging deeper in how we are built. I was testing a lot on myself, because for me it was clear I didn't just want to be a yoga teacher. In fact, my kind of like vision back then, like it's now almost 5 years ago, I think, my vision back then was like, okay, maybe I'm not the yoga teacher. Maybe I can build something different, and then let's see how we lead there. But also it was like step by step. And then I was teaching yoga, but also already in a different way, and was weaving in everything I tried on the mat, building the flex and flow, moving into the classes. And then people got me feedback that this already felt so different. And I was like, okay, let's try even more. And yeah, and this eventually led to Flex and Flow, but really testing movements specifically, not just on my people in the room or online. I started a weekly Instagram series on Fridays, which was called Friday Flex and Flow. And this is how actually the name was built. So every Friday I was sharing a reel or a tutorial or something concerned about simultaneously stretching and strengthening. So it went step by step, and all of a sudden, like 1.5 years later, having all the feedback from my peeps, I was like, okay, I completely stop being a stylist and I stopped teaching yoga in that sense. And this is when I called it Flex and Flow, strength mobility. And this is also when I really started to just doing what I'm doing now, but still developing. And yeah, this is actually the foundation behind it, but maybe it's also built about my skill set. So being a stylist and also studied fashion design, I was always creative and I was always really keen on digging deeper. I love knowledge. I love seeing the whole picture and really seeing it from all edges, from all points of views. And I think this is crucial to first of all build something, different, and not being afraid of doing mistakes, not being afraid of having setbacks, not being afraid of people leaving the room. And in fact, person in the beginning, I had several people just leaving the room because it was so different. So, and this was kind of like, okay, I'm onto something. So this is basically, in short, what happened. But it's a lot of work, to be honest. You have to love it, or you just love it.
Yes, 100%. I love that it's so connected to your personal story, what you do. Like a lot of work we do here in the yoga business intensive or with my students, like coming up with ideas, using AI to brainstorm. But I think I talked about that yesterday as well. It has to be rooted in your experience, in what you're passionate about, in what really gets people results, what you're doing. You can't just come up with this, okay, this is a perfect idea on paper and start selling it. And I mean, you could probably, it might even work, but it would be weird, I think, in the long term, especially. It would feel disconnected.
And also you will hit again a plateau, yeah, also in how you teach and how you bring it to the people. Because when it's just on paper, or let's say when you're just asking ChatGPT or Claude what is trendy right now, you are kind of like, it's not unique, it's not your own, it's not what you feel. It's kind of like it works for a while, and to be honest, and probably works in the mainstream, but then again, it's fine. If this is what it's fine for you, go for it. But if you feel like you're driven and you want to have something else, or kind of like it's just pushing you forward from the inside, from you can't be satisfied with this. Yeah. So that's the thing. But I mean, you can be a successful instructor in whatever you do. Just asking ChatGPT how to teach a class or whatsoever, but then you can just go that far. And I, in fact, have the clients are coming to me, and also the first timers who are joining this there. So it's so different. And they also tell me, okay, I've learned so much just in those 60 minutes with you. And a lot of questions I always had, like in class or with other instructors, or going to a doctor or physiotherapist, I feel like it's the first time that I get a glimpse of an answer and a glimpse of getting help. And I think this is the difference when you really just building it from the inside and always driven to get more knowledge and to educate yourself. You build something completely different, because you're not relying on something that's already out there and just copy pasting it.
It's very brave, definitely, especially when it comes to movement and yoga, and it feels like everything is already out there. I mean, it's
Yeah,
always the same old things that are trending. And it's
absolutely.
actually very, very rare that someone really comes up with a new method. And you even trademarked. So at what point did you decide to trademark it? Was it a strategic decision or was something triggered it? What happened there?
It was a trigger, but also strategic in a way. But it forced me because when I started teaching this to public and not just online, but also in a studio, the studio owner, actually in the beginning, it was very brave from her because I was like, I'm teaching something completely different, so maybe people don't want it. But it's called Flex and Flow, and this is the description of the class. And she was like, yes, go for it. I love it that it's something new. And she was also building something new, something kind of a different studio. And it was very successful in the first 6 months. So people, I mean, I told you like in the beginning, people left, but the people who stayed, they was they brought the word out that there's something different, and then they got their friends in, and then also we got the amazing reviews on Google and on Instagram and whatsoever. It was very successful in the first 6 months. And all of a sudden, I mean, this the name Flex and Flow and the description was never ever before in the studio. They never ever used it. And to be honest, Flex and Flow, when you Google it, you can find it everywhere. So there are kind of physiotherapists and whatsoever. But the thing is, with movement connected and description, this is something different. So as successful as it was, she all of a sudden started to pull from the descriptions, weaving into other classes. And there was one dancer, she also was teaching stretching, but this was not what I'm doing. Yeah. And all of a sudden she named first internally the class, all of those classes, Flex and Flow. And then I was like, oh, wait, I was talking to a director. I was like, hey, wait, maybe this was a mistake, but just to make it clear, Flex and Flow is what I'm doing. And as we all know, people are coming to me for the Flex and Flow. And I think it's getting also like this misconception out there that I'm teaching the class, but then they are kind of like, the people coming maybe they are disappointed because it's not me and because it's not the method and it's not what they usually are used to when I'm teaching this. So maybe just name it differently, and it would be great because please name it differently. It's me who's teaching this. And then she said, well, it's a name which is so common, and also the description, it's so common. People teaching stretching and strength. So no. And then I was like, oh, but I started this 1.5 years ago. I have the weekly Instagram series. It's very connected with me. I was like, I really want to, and your interest and also mine, that also like the people, your clients, my clients, I won't be disappointed that it's not me, because when I was not teaching and someone was covering me, we always got the bad review that it's not Flex and Flows. So obviously, so I was really putting pressure on her, and then she took it off, the Flex and Flow. She named it differently for the other teachers. But said this, okay, when already she is like this and I'm connected with her, I'm working with her studio and we are successful together, I need to now get a trademark. I was thinking about getting a trademark anyways in my head, but it's like, okay, now's the time, because it won't be the last one or the last teacher or last studio who probably want to pull from it. And then I digged into how to get it trademarked. And this, I mean, it's like 4 years ago or something. ChatGPT wasn't that source at that point, right? So I was searching for something, how to get it trademarked, what are the parameters. And of course, I always would recommend get a lawyer. But I'm so into digging and researching. I'm quite good at this. I was like, okay, how did other people do it? And actually, when you go on the, at least it's for the German one, for the European, it's quite different. But for the German one, when you go to the Patentamt, the trademark, kind of like office, I don't know the English name for this. you can really dig into all the trademarks, and then you see what needs to be filled out in certain ways. And they're also like, I think there was one yoga thing. It's called beat, something with beat on flow, something like this. It was trademarked. And I was actually looking into it, which parameter did they use to get a trademark? And then there's one thing with movement modalities, it's quite hard to get a trademark for the movements, for the exercises. So it's like you need to get the trademark on the name. And actually, when you have this, the name is stronger than actually the movement. So the thing is, that was the specific part. But then you also need to tick all the parameters to get a trademark. Plus, it takes like around 6 months to get your trademark, because in those 6 months, even though you send it into the trademark office whatsoever, they have to search if something like this in that area with a specific naming, with a specific parameters is already existing. So it's kind of like you first have to pay for the trademark, and then they're looking into it, and it takes around 6 months. But the good thing is, once you just send it in, the date of where you were sending it in is there, and then you come first row. When someone else wanted to try it just one day later, they are kind of like on the so to say second row or something. Yeah, so it's always worth to try it if you have something that is very specific, and I already had the proof that it's specific. I wouldn't recommend to just do it for the sake of it, of the name. Plus, I had luck because how I wrote the name is very unique. Yeah. So because, as I said, like flex and flow and something like this, it's already out there, but how I wrote it and into the connection with the parameters. The thing is, I also tick the thing of I'm open for licensing, because this is also, I had like the bigger picture in mind to do teacher trainings and whatsoever. Even though if you don't need it now in the specific moment, like 4 years ago, I already ticked the parameters, because the thing is, once you signed in or just send it off, you can't change anything anymore. So I always recommend get a lawyer. And I actually talked, after 6 months, I got the trademark and everything is fine. Now it's safe. And after I got the trademark, I talked to my lawyer, and she was like, you're crazy, but you did it very good. So, and she's like, she was like, you couldn't have done it better. But this is the thing. It's really how you're built, I would say. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
you've been smart that you did your research. Yeah.
Highly recommend ask a lawyer, or maybe now it's also like better with ChatGPT that could help. But anyways, a lawyer is good. It's anyways good to have a lawyer when you're in this business. Yeah, that was the thing, a trigger, but also strategic, and maybe haven't done it that early, but it's good because I had to. And after
Do you
this,
feel it like it helps you? It changed how you position yourself and your business, or how people see you, or nobody gives?
yeah, now slowly after 4 years, yes, but in the beginning, people don't even care, or they don't think that someone like a movement coach or yoga instructor or whatsoever is that smart to trademark it. And even people who ran the name with the R as a trademark. Oh, is it trademark, or is it just like a fake? It's like, no, it's trademark. Seriously. And now I would say, like in the last year, it started to pay off, because all of a sudden brands are open for this. So I have this contract with Adidas. They specifically loved it because it's Flex and Flow, and they also named it from the beginning Flex and Flow with a trademark. No questions asked. And also it helped with the retreats I'm doing, because I'm always collaborating, and it helps in a way because in a I would say in an emotional way and mental way, it's like, okay, it's me, it's my name, but it's also a method I built, and I'm proud of it. And I think the big thing is to be proud of it, proud and loud, to say, this is something so different, and this is something where I put all my effort in. This is something where I earn a lot less than in my job before, but it's kind of like I'm so driven, and that's why I wanted to have it. And I had the proof that people wanted from the beginning to steal it. So it's like it helps first of all yourself to position yourself, but it also on the long run it helps to work with brands and get the recognition, and it helps with that people trust you more. But then this is only the first step, right? Because the name is not everything. When they start to trust you, you also have to deliver.
Yeah.
You have to deliver in everything you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you have the trademark for Germany, or is it automatically all of Europe? And are you
No, you have
thinking
to
about
do
expanding?
you have to do it all separately.
Mm.
Thing. And Germany is the, so to say, easiest one and cheapest one. And Europe is a little bit more expensive. And then there's also the US. But for all of this, we really need a lawyer to do it.
Yeah.
But the
Next
thing
steps.
is, first, next steps. But I mean, I'm also have it for Europe. But it's like the thing is, start in your market.
I think even then, if you have it here, it's going to be an advantage. Even if somebody
of course,
tries something to do something similar in the US, and if it comes to a conflict, you're going to be able to prove that you already trademarked it before and sooner.
Yeah, and this is also what my lawyer said. This is already, as it's written down, and it always needs to be connected with movement. Of course, I can't sue a skincare brand or whatsoever. But it's like connected with movement. And I also could actually trademark the movements, but also I could actually sue teachers who are using my movements. But then, I mean, first of all, I need to go to every class, but actually people are also reaching out. I had it before that people were reaching out. Someone is teaching this, but it's more like a fake, because it's not the whole picture.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's you, right? So it's like, it's the same in the coaching industry. People are stealing programs. You just have to kind of live with it in a way. And I mean, we have also examples like from the yoga world with Bikram, where they trademarked it and then they called the studio as hot yoga.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, in the end, he was a bad,
he was. For me, it's always like, okay, which fight is worth to fight it and which not. And it also depends on when it's affecting me directly in my business in a way that it's kind of like decreasing the reputation, I would say. This would always be something where I would go after. Or if someone is like saying, okay, the Flex and Flow retreat X, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh no, that's mine, because I'm standing for this kind of thing. So you always have to decide what is worth it, because the energy you put in there, you don't have for something else what you maybe want to build, right? So, but it helps. It helps in a way, and you can also remind people, hey, it's trademark. Maybe from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, think about it.
No, it's fascinating. So you started teaching your method in person. I mean, first you started like doing it yourself, then you taught it in person in studio classes. And I think when we started working together, they were always sold out. And you're
like, always waitlisted.
Time to grow online. So can we talk about your offers, what you're selling online?
So actually, when I started, I already was building like online opportunities for Flex and Flow, testing it. I mean, I did it on YouTube. Then I had like an online on-demand library on my website. But I mean, everything changed all the time. And then I think I was building the first version of the now premium program. But the first version, I was building like 3 years ago. Like it was like a 4-week program and not that in depth, but still it was huge because it was always in my head to do it. So it was actually like step by step. And then I was, after this, I was building like a 2 weeks program, which was just like 20-minute classes, and for the morning workout, because people were asking for this. So I always I did like trying it out, filming. I always had like this in mind that it need to have a that it need to be a quality filming, and that the audio needs to be nice because of my background as being a stylist. I knew this, but I was building this all at home here from this little room. So it was like step by step. And when so I had like online opportunities already when we met, or when we started working together like a year ago. But I felt like, okay, something is off, because how I teach and how I am and how the style I have personally, and also like I want to distribute myself, something feels off, and I need more like a holistic ecosystem, not just the programs, but how the website looks, how my socials are looking, how I'm talking about, which also leads to how I'm facilitating my classes, my offerings in person. Yeah. We talked about like a year ago, okay, what can we do? And let's look at the ecosystem, because I wanted to have the premium program, which needed to be like, I mean, it had to be something completely different than the one before, although it has the same name, the Flex and Flow formula. But I knew I'm outgrown of this. But I did the other one, so to say, the first Flex and Flow. I think I was launching it 3 times, so I had some proof and some feedback, what was working, what was not working, and then I was ready to build something bigger. But actually, I also love those smaller programs, the short programs, the quick things, and that's how first I got the low ticket mojo, because I was thinking about something like this, and which is still one of my best selling programs, so to say. And from there we started, because at first I wanted to build the trust in Susanne that this was the right time for what I needed. And I did coaching before with someone else, and I felt like, okay, now I need something different, and this was the whole package, right? So she was building the trust. She was building the trust to the low ticket mojo. I was like, okay, this is very specific and very different. Although I know a lot, this also helps me a lot. And then we were talking about, okay, what can we do? And then I signed up for the 1 year coaching at the Blissful Biz Academy. That was the right name back then, right?
Yeah, back then it was called the mentorship, I think.
Mentorship, yeah. I think we had both. Yeah. So, and then we were really like looking through all of it, and we went through all the programs I already have. Then we went through what do I want to build? What are my clients? What is my vision? And step by step, Crystal Low ticket formed, and then we were working on the Flex and Flow Premier Premium Support Edition, which took a while, right? And also, actually, we first started to work on the website because it was not really reflecting on what I'm building and who I am and how rich it is. So I would say the first 7 months were a lot of all at once, filming the program, working on the website. It was like 7 days a week, teaching my in-person classes, doing my workshops I'm also doing. And yeah, and now I have this beautiful ecosystem, but still it's a lot of work. Yeah. And as I said, the low ticket program is the best selling.
Can you describe it a little bit? So what do you deliver in your low ticket program?
It's called the Flex and Flow Mobility Jumpstart, and it's really specifically focusing on the hip flexors, hips, lower back release. But when you train with me, I always have a big emphasis on hip flexors, because this is one area which is most often overlooked, and we all train just our quads. But the hip flexors are crucial in combination with the glutes to release lower back pain, but also to get so strong, 10x stronger, because hip flexors are connected to the upper body and also connected with our core. So all the proof I saw over the last 3-4 years, when people were starting to work with me on hip flexors, they got 10x stronger, they released lower back pain, they got a lot more stable, the movements got more trustful. So this was the thing to build the low ticket around, because this is such a crucial part in my teaching. And it's something, an area in the body which a lot of people can connect to. And that's why we said, okay, it's a standalone, but it's also the first step into my world. But it's really like premium treated, how I filmed all the videos or the supporting materials. And when you, I don't know if everyone is taking the low ticket module course, or if you sign up for this program, I highly recommend this, because it still is my backbone, although my premium program should be, but you also always have to watch the market. And I think at the moment it's like people are easy with low ticket, but they still have to deliver. So I'm still like thinking about maybe the next thing will be some other area in the body, where I also get a lot of feedback that people looking for this. So yeah, it all works together, I would say. And the premium program is there, and it's so
And then you also have
beautiful.
an upsell, like a middle program, right?
Yeah,
So
I have
for 111, or what was it?
something like that's 114. Oh God, I don't know. But it's like, it's basically the 14 days, which I built already 3 years ago, but people still love it. It's like the 14 days.
Can you share some numbers there? So how much, so like approximately how many low ticket offers did you sell, like in the last year, or when did you really start promoting it?
Oh God, I didn't pull the last numbers, but maybe I can see. Wait, let me. Where is it? Wait. So I can tell you the last 30 days of the Mobility Jumpstart. It's 29 euro, 29 units sold. Last year, so wait, why is it not year to date? It's 45. Wait, let me check the custom because it looks weird.
No, but 29 in the last 30 days, that's great.
It's a lot
already.
Yeah.
And you're running ads to it, right?
Yes.
I think I checked them. I saw them in the ad library.
So I checked October, from October 2025 to today. See, this was not really, it's like 63 units.
So you really sold a lot more the last month then, comparatively.
Yeah.
It's scaling up.
It's scaling. So let me check from December to today, it's like 60. No.
Yeah, and that's good.
But I'm also like, I was also selling all the different programs as well. So I was selling the low ticket, the Mobility Jumpstart. Then I'm also selling the Flex Force 14, which is the 14 days. Then I actually launched last year as well, like in March, it's a year ago, called the FFM Lab, the Flex and Flow Mastery, which is more like an advanced program where you also get some yoga movements in, like those fun advanced poses like chin stand or whatsoever, but still with the flex and flow techniques, because I'm always also keen on like showing that flex and flow can help you in all kinds of different movement modalities. And this also sold very well in the past 3 months. So it's kind of like a mix and match of everything. And currently I see more people who just are buying the Mobility Jumpstart and not the upsell. So, but it's really like in December, January, it was both. Like most of the people bought the Jumpstart and then also the Flex Force 14. So I think sometimes it's really like you don't know, it's the market, but yes, ads, that was the thing. It helped tremendously. But first time I was running ads for the Mobility Jumpstart, was in November, and it tanked. It burned money. So I changed the creative, was a big there back then, and also I changed the hook and the captions. I tried a lot, but it still tanked. And then was it in December? I think it was end of December or January, like probably the second January or something. I was like, whatever. I tried exactly the same creative again with exactly the same hooks, because what I saw the past 6 weeks, this is what people were talking about. And all of a sudden it blew up. So you never know, right?
There's
So,
been a lot of changes with Facebook ads, with how Meta works. It's called Andromeda, their latest update.
yeah.
A lot of people, there was a lot of fragility in campaigns suddenly not working anymore until the system stabilized in a way. And from what I've learned, it's more important than ever. Yeah, the creative is basically doing the targeting. It's not really like trying different targeting settings anymore with different ad sets and all that. You have one campaign, one ad set, 5 up to 10 creatives that you update all the time. And then the algorithm and AI from Meta is basically reading your descriptions, your copy, looking at your creative and deciding who it's for, which I think can also mean that sometimes it takes a little bit longer for Meta to really figure out what is working and who's going to buy and who's sort of show those ads.
Yeah, that's true. The funny thing is I think this was also with my creative. I'm using the same creative for all 6 different kinds of, how you say, hooks. So the only thing I changed was the hook and the caption.
Yeah.
But I used the same creative, the same movement, exactly the same creative, just changing the hook, because this is also talking to different kinds of people with basically the same, so to say, issue. Yeah. But in a different way, because people addressing the issue from different points of views. Yes. So you can also do different creatives, right, with the different hooks. But I tried it, and this works very well. And the thing is, I first tried it in January, and then we were talking about, like, I think it was very successful, and I made actually plus.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked about it was profitable, but on a small level, but yeah.
And so it was like I think I looked through it for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then we decided, okay, let's try and do the 3% thing. So every day it's
scale up the budget.
It's scaling. And then I had like weeks where I was selling a lot, so every day. And then I had like 10 days where I was not selling anything. So I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then it picked up again. So I'm still running it because I feel it's still successful. Plus, I'm getting a lot more people on my email list, a lot more followers. And I know that through the ads, 2 of the people who are joining for my retreat, they came through it. So
okay, so it's not only
they didn't buy the program. They just saw me, and they were like, okay, it's in Europe, it's in Italy, it's in South Europe. Okay, so which is kind of like, which can also help to let people discover you. Yeah.
I know, I see that myself too in my business, and it really enhances what you're doing, like, organically.
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely.
So, which is so slow to grow, just like by posting organic content without ads, unless you are, I don't know, maybe super controversial or create really entertaining content or something that shows up in the algorithm that plays into that. But yeah, so I think it works great together. I think if you just run ads without posting anything else,
it doesn't make sense.
Leaving money on the table, because people check out your profile, they want to see what you post, and it builds trust when you're showing up continuously.
So it's like, it's again it's an ecosystem as well. So you first need to have need a social presence on Instagram. Maybe you do TikTok. It really depends on. I played around a bit with the TikTok. It was fine, but it's like, okay, now I'm focusing back on Instagram. So building the Instagram, the socials, but also bringing ads out into the world, but with a great creative. The thing is, there are so many ads out there, and myself, I love that. And when I see like, oh, it's a beautiful lipstick. It wasn't that. So, but the thing is, I think there's also like it's like 2-3 years ago, people were really like negative about ads, but now ads are so beautiful, and this is also like as small business owners, entrepreneurs, you still have to think about it, like make it beautiful, because otherwise it's going into the void. So you need a nice presence on Instagram, make your ad enjoyable, beautiful, high end, or like in the way you would also post. And then website, because when people discover you on socials, they go to your website. So it was, I mean, we are back to websites, and that's what I really feel. People want to see the same thing on the website, but really like in an emotional way, but also like that it's structured, that they can trust you, and this all builds the ecosystem. And then, of course, your teaching comes. Yeah. So when you're just delivering the vision and not in the teaching, you won't grow. So, but yeah, it's a lot of work, but I mean,
You have a
we
really
have a lot of
solid
passion.
foundation now, but it's also not you set up the system and you can forget it. So
No,
it's still like, okay, where do I now get people to see the offer, to sign up for it, look at the numbers, see what I can test out,
Yeah.
experiment, improve, make better. I mean, that's where the big brands spend their money on testing.
Yeah. On testing, yeah,
On
that's
testing,
true.
which I don't know who likes it, but yeah, I think you come to a point in business where that becomes more important. In
Yeah,
the
you're like
beginning, it's just like creating the foundation for it.
yeah, and then you have to, I mean, it looks different for all of us, and I know it can feel intimidating, but when you're in the rhythm and really focus on what are your skills and in what kind of like area you can facilitate all the content you're doing, and then using and training ChatGPT and Claude. And now I mean, I don't know if you, probably all of you who are on socials, you probably saw that everyone is now talking about Claude again, because they made a massive, massive review on how Claude is working. And now everyone is training Claude, because Claude now has also like a memory. And actually, I'm started to work with Claude again a lot more. Just throwing in, hey, I'm blanking for today. Everything we talked about, everything that you know about me, what could we post today? And then it works very beautiful, because I felt like ChatGPT for me, it worked very fine for the last 7 months, but now it kind of like is tanking in a way. It's like, I'm bored and now I'm back to Claude. So
Same thing.
you still have to be open.
Yeah.
And one more thing of ads, because I was also because I'm hosting my own Flex and Flow class, like it's like a long-term pop-up at Adidas here in Berlin, Adidas Sports Space. So it's not marketed through Adidas, it's marketed through me. And I actually was setting up ads just for the Berlin market and just for specific districts and just for very specific issues, conditions, and whatever. And it works well. My classes are filling up. And I mean, that was really like a try.
It's probably a really small budget that you have to spend because it's
like
local.
It's like the 12 euros. But anyways,
Yeah.
I was really it's still growing and people liking it and people coming to the class. And it's like, okay, that's interesting, because it was just like, let's try it, because we always think big about ads, like, yeah, international, and you have to do it as well. But my Adidas works so well because the creative is great, and then people are coming into my world and they see it. And yeah, you can also have it when you have a special occasion. And for me, I wouldn't market my normal classes or workshops I'm doing in person here. But for the Adidas, for me specifically as a brand, it was important to get it out there, because Adidas is a brand, I'm a brand, and it's a great opportunity. So sometimes you have to spend the money to get your image out there.
It takes time to build a personal brand, but I think you're on a really good way. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
right?
I am. But it's like, yeah, it's getting better, I would say.
Oh, it's already what you have out there is already looking pretty great.
So I think it's less I mean, it was really like a hard work, the past years, and specifically last year. But now it's like, okay, if the foundation is set, and now it's getting a little lighter in the sense of workflow. Yeah. So, but still, it's a decision you have to make. Yeah. So,
It takes time, and we have to remember that that's so often when it comes to building a business, you don't get instant results.
no,
It
no.
all compounds. Every single step compounds. Every single post that you put out there. Some people take 7, 8, 9 months before they come to a purchasing decision. And that's fine, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that consistency in showing up is so important. And it comes back to the strong vision that you have, that you're really passionate about what you do, that energy that you put out there. And you're just like you're so consistent with it, you're just sticking with it.
Yeah, and it's really like a decision. And I mean, I'm a freelancer my whole life. I built a whole business around my styling. How also the style of my styling was. This was also, I mean, it took also years in a way, where until I was earning really, really good money. So it takes a while. And for some, it's really like that quick. But I feel for me, it's like step by step, it's growing, and it's growing healthy. And I can see that people, and also like in the wellness business, in the movement business, in the yoga business, it's so saturated and so overwhelming. So people have so many opportunities to choose from. So you really have to stand for something, and we have to give it time, because people eventually coming to you because they're kind of like frustrated with where they are. Like, okay, I'm doing all those Pilates, I'm doing this and that, but I still don't feel a difference. And I'm still have this nagging injury, pain whatsoever. And then all of a sudden they come to me, or come, I mean, see something or read something or whatsoever. And I say, okay, this was missing. So this is really a thing of, okay, being consistent and believing in it. And this is, for all of us, it looks different. And I'm sure there are maybe niches or areas in our business that won't take that long, or which is such a small area where it's easier to grow, or to stand out. But still, you need to be driven, and sometimes you don't. You just need to not listen to anyone surrounding you telling you it's not worth it. It takes so much time, and it's not enough money or whatsoever, or like why you're a freelancer or whatsoever. At some point, you just have to shut them out and do your thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. Do we have any questions here from Claire or Liz? Anything that you would like to ask Jessica?
Hi, just to say thanks so much, because it's been really interesting hearing how you've been navigating all of this yoga business and putting it together right from the start. It's given me lots of ideas. So really, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Yes. And I'm happy to help. And just for you to know, I mean, we're all in there. Yeah. And we all need, it's always good to hear stories and real stories, and not maybe from the big accounts or the big people out there, but they also build their way up, right? And it's still possible to do things nowadays, although the business change and the economy change. But I think I strongly believe that when we see the opportunities, using the opportunities and having the faith to do it, we can make the difference, right?
And I think that's the biggest challenge for me where I'm at with my business is I know that this has been transformational for my body, what I do and what I teach in my practice. But then it's how to translate that out to others and attract them in, isn't it? That's
this is the hardest thing,
journey.
and it took me years. And the thing is, now I'm at the point where it gets easier, but also I'm listening to all the feedback people giving me, and sometimes it's really like it's like just verbal feedback, not written, and then I'm just putting it into my notes or putting it into ChatGPT, just like as it is, very raw, and then saving it and then going from there. And this really helps because this is not, I mean, it's addressing their concerns, their needs, but I'm always sharing my story. And I think because I'm not coming from this sports background, I know a lot more how they feel, how the normal people, so to say, feel than any sports person. Although the sports person, they have like the knowledge about the body and they were suffering probably with injuries, but it's kind of like a completely different area. But the thing is, listen to your people and try to just put it raw into like ChatGPT or your notes or wherever you're saving it. And then this helps. And yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And there was also one, I think there was something
Yeah,
that
Claire
shared.
asked, are your programs live or recorded videos?
Hybrid. So it really changed over the years. The very first Flex and Flow formula, it was like 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. It was pre-recorded, but a lot of live sessions as well. So it was a mix. And then I was always putting this on evergreen, so to say. So it was there all year round until the new Flex and Flow formula came up. And so it's still there, but it changed a little bit. And for the Flex Force 14, it was completely live. It was 3 times a week, 20 minutes in the morning. It was on Zoom. And I have to say the quality on Zoom is also better, but back then the quality was not as good. So I'm still like, ooh, the classes are great, but the quality of the video is not as how my high-end quality videos are now. And I
Maybe
tried to make
AI can actually fix
Yeah,
that if you use a
yeah.
tool like Nano Banana or something.
Not really. I mean, I was working with AI and asked how can I get them more crisp. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it looks a little bit better. Yeah, but I'm just addressing it on the program website that this is the beauty of it, that you really have the live feeling because what live, and I know that people still love the program, so I'm not filming it again. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so this was completely live. And now all other programs, they have like, I would say like 90% it's pre-recorded. And then I have some live touch points. And for the Flex the Flow Formula Premium Support Edition, the live touch points were more like what we have now, like meeting people, let's talk through it. What was coming up for you during the week? What are the specific questions? Let's get on the mat for the specific question. And also I was giving them some journaling points, some mindset tools. And I'm kind of like, because I felt whenever I was running live, the first 1 or 2 class, everyone joined and then there was a big drop off. So I was like, why? So I'm just doing this pre-recorded, then it's easier for me than hopping on the mat live. And yeah, so I think it's like, try it. Really, I wouldn't say which one is better, but try it. What works better for you, for your feeling, how you feel on the mat. I love to film it. I'm very good in pre-recording videos. I feel safe, but also feel safe in live online. But I was building this with YouTube years ago. I mean, there's still the old videos there. I thought about like deleting them, but this was also like for me, like this was a training. Just I wanted to have a YouTube channel to test myself on camera. Yeah, because then you have a goal that it looks good, right? So try it, try all of this, I would say. And now I'm also like about like building my 50-hour Flex and Flow teacher training. And yeah, there I have a lot of pre-recorded trainings and some live touch points. And I haven't filmed any yet, but I will. So yeah, it's growing and growing. And yeah.
And there's an in-person element as well, or?
This is optional. Giving the intensive, I want to have it like really online, but because I did all my trainings, or the 200 and 300 and all the yin yoga and whatsoever, I did it online. So in a very great way. So I know the benchmark, how to make it great, and I want to do it. But I think it's a lot easier for people to do it online. And also the first one is like a 50-hour. And then eventually next year, I'm planning about the 200. But first of all, I wanted to make the 50-hour great. And anything that I see there, it's missing. I mean, it transfers then into the 200 hours. I mean, technically and whatsoever. And the in person, it's like an option for the people who want like 2 days, where on the first day we get into all the hands-on assist, into the deeper levels, and then the practicum, the final exam, they can do on the second day live. And everyone else is either doing this online live on Zoom or sending in a video where I can see they teach other people. So I wanted to have it very broad, but still that it's not just feeling like self-paced online training, because any training I did movement-wise was always this kind of like online, but with a live aspect. And I really love this because you can ask questions. You have real people there. You're not just in front of the computer, but you also have the pre-recorded trainings, and this is gold because you can always refer back to it. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Claire also asked, do you use a professional camera? Let's talk about your
Oh,
recording
yes.
setup. It's always interesting for people.
How I started was I don't know if that's, I mean, and I think it's in Europe and in Germany it was called, or still it's there. It's called Rover, where you can rent computers and cameras. And I know that a lot of those YouTubers or people who start with it were renting it, or companies, and they really have the newest stuff. And actually, I rented a Sony, which was specific for YouTubers, but also for people who produce online video. And I was filming on this, and it took a while to find the right settings. And I also have like the 3-point lighting. Like I have a softbox in one area, and then I have like 2 LEDs to make the light great, and also like that you're not building too many shadows on the wall. That's a big thing. Actually, when you're in a professional setup, and I know this, it needs to be, the ceiling needs to be higher, and you really need space away from the wall as a person, and also you need the space for the light. But however, I didn't want to rent any room. I have like a 22 square meter room here, as you can see, and I was working with this, and I tried a little bit. So the camera was like this YouTube thing, very high end. And I was renting this month by month. It would have been cheaper renting this per year, but then you had the contract for 2 years, and I was not sure, so I was renting this month by month. And then I was at some point sending it back once the iPhones got better. And now I'm just filming with my iPhone, this one, and the quality is top notch. So
What do you do for sound?
I have a Rode mic. I have, where is it? The small
Rode or wireless?
Rode, yeah, this one, wireless Go, this one.
Yeah.
I have this. And then I also found out, because I wanted to have the screen, I wanted to see what I'm filming on my computer, on the MacBook, like the pros, right? And I knew this, that from the setup when I was a stylist, that all those diggy boys, the diggy bros, they had all those cables and little thingies and adapters to put into the computer, that in real life, from what you were filming on the camera, was directly onto the screen, so that you can check on it. And that was not so easy. But then I found out this is like it's like an adapter, yeah. And several things are going in here. The main thing goes into the phone, and then you also connect your computer here.
Okay.
This thingy. And then also you're connecting the sound, yeah?
Yeah.
So that actually everything is filming on my phone. I use this as camera, but the main part was because the videos, they are big, that it's already saved on the computer, and that I don't have to bring it somewhere else. I mean, you could also, I think you can also have like an external hard drive, but for me it was fine because my computer is big enough to where I can save it. It's big enough. So I see it on my computer. It's filmed through my iPhone. It's saved on my computer, and then
What is
I'm
it called if somebody wants to find it on Amazon? You know? Probably a weird name.
It's like I don't know. It's like the name is here, 4-port USB
Okay. Like a port
hub.
Yeah.
4-port
Hub.
USB, 2-point gen hub. But I can send you an email, and I probably have it somewhere still saved in my Amazon account.
Send me the link. We'll add it to the report.
Yeah. So then
We
you have all
wonder.
those things. Yeah. And then you have to try it, right? And then you have to yeah.
What do
just
you use
play
for
around with it.
editing?
I was forever on iMovie because it's a lot easier, but I also have the whole Adobe suite, Adobe Suite, and there I'm using Premiere, just because you're a little bit limited in iMovie, but to start with, iMovie is great. And sometimes I'm still switching back and forth, whatever I'm doing, but it's really, once you have it, it's quite easy. So lighting is crucial. I don't like it when you have the big shadows, and this is also I have some shadows, but you still can adjust a little bit in editing, yeah. And then use your phone when you have a good iPhone. I don't know about all the Samsung and whatsoever, probably it works as well. Yeah, and then go for it. Take the mic.
Amazing. So that was really great. Thank you so much, Jessica.